right, good morning, everyone. It is time. It's 9 o'clock. I see the casino is already rolling this morning. So, good morning to LJ and TeamView and Locked In. I'm glad you guys are all here this morning. I'm exhausted. Is anybody else exhausted? I feel like I'm tired all the time now. And I don't really know why, other than I'm on this weird diet and I'm eating way healthier, but not nearly as much food. How about them Browns? That's a really good call out, LJ. Browns are looking good. Well, they look good against the Bengals. I guess that's what we're really saying. We'll see how they look on Sunday, and we'll see how they look against the Ravens the next time they have to play them. But for now, I feel okay. I feel moderately, cautiously optimistic. Right? That's the story of a Browns fan. Cautiously optimistic. Um, Man, I just ordered some more bottles. I love these. This is a brand called Companion. Um, they're out of Canada, but they are the best water bottles. They first of all, they have a square edge, right? So they have a square. Let's see if I can get my face in the bottle. That's pretty cool. Anyway, they have a square edge, so they stack up really nice in the fridge, and they're plastic, so they don't break. Um, Machine washable, like you put them in the dishwasher, all that. So, do I think Amazon will let you work for free? Probably, maybe. I mean, that's what internships are often, right? Although I think Amazon does paid internships. I don't know. I was thinking more like a local small company where you show up every day. I think it would be tough to work for someone for free where they don't see you every day. You'd really have to do a hustle. But I think that LJ, where are you based? I know people all over the place. Maybe we can get you connected. South Florida, uh, South Florida like Miami, South Florida like Tampa. And if you don't want to give more detail than that, that's okay too. Palm Beach, Miami. All right. Miami's not one of the cities I'm very connected to, and I think it's because it's just so remote. It's not near anybody else. Um, Team View, why are you scared of it? Let's jump to this too. I added a little bit more to the leaderboard. Now there's commands for people to try, and yeah, so that's working. I have a goal for today, which is to build out some tests. Actually, I got this all spun up, and I don't even think I really need it. Let me kill that. I think what I really want to do is write a few tests that start putting limits on wagers. I know we talked about this a little yesterday. ATL and Seattle are places I'm willing to relocate. Well, Seattle, there's 1,000 opportunities. I guess my first question would be for you, LJ, is if we look at, let me get my Twitch chat open here. My first recommendation for you, especially if you're willing to move to Seattle, come on, mute, is have you looked at like the Microsoft and Amazon job boards? So if I'm in here and I want to go to moderator view, which looks like that. Have you been to like this website? If you haven't been there, I would highly recommend checking that out. Search for the things you're interested in. Search in the areas that you're in. And follow my advice from yesterday. Just because something looks like you're not qualified for it, like within a margin of error, right? I wouldn't say, hey, yeah, I could be the CTO of this thing. So Alexa Auto and AWS, awesome. Okay, have you heard anything back? Have you gotten any contact? Just curious how that works. No callbacks, huh? is the leaderboard file-based? It is 100% not file-based, Gold Zulu. That is actually a React web page that I built that is pulling directly from the database. Nice, Amazon Career Fair, that's good. Yeah, that is a React web page using a little JSX to get that done. What makes you think it's file based, or what raised that question? Just curious. Okay, so I'm gonna get in here and we're gonna write some tests first, right? That's what we should do. So we have cashier, and in here we had a couple of isValidWager tests that we ran through, and those all passed. I think we should probably make sure our tests are passing. npm run test. So that is officially, Gold Zulu, my first browser source. My cashier test passed. That's good. Okay. So, our next step is I need to build some tests that say, hey, if your balance is this amount, if you're available, well, not even your available balance, if your total balance is between this and this, then you should only be allowed to bet this and this. And actually we're going to use, let's look at games. I was thinking I might use the ranges they have here. So this is that craps game that I showed you guys the other day, but I want to see if there is support rules. No, not even this. I want to back out. They do this different per game. That would also be very frustrating. Let's see. No, I think I like the craps ones. Let's see. I know you guys can't see this. I'm just trying to see if I can find a good reference for what the ranges should be. I think I've got one here. Okay. So let's start with what our ranges should be. So how do I want to do this? Yeah, that's probably a good call, Corey. The challenge I have is that I'm actually returning true or false, and so I'm getting an object back no matter what. It's just that it's going to pass back false as my valid test. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. I like the nitpicking on test emoji. I wish that was an emoji. No, not at all. You were never one to nitpick names on tests. I'm still only really getting good at testing. I do it, and I think it's important, but I'm not good at it. One thing I'm certainly not good at is mocking. That's something I haven't even really gotten into. but I know it would help me quite a bit. Okay, let's really think about this. They have some really expansive amounts here. So let's talk about this. Betting ranges. I just want to take some notes for myself here. So how do I really want to do this? We could probably do it this way, huh? Okay, betting ranges. How do I really want to do this? I want to say if you have between 0 and 10,000, then your bets are between 1 and 50. If your bets are between 10,000, if your balance is 10,001 to 99,000, your bets are 5 to 200. These are min-max bets. Not 99,000. I should do it this way. 9999. And then this should be 999. Okay. Then we're going to have I do remember that, LJ. I don't. Are you allowed to do that though? I don't know. This will go up to 500,000, and this one will be 10,500. And then we'll have this going up to a million. So we'll do 49999. Then we'll do 500,000 to a million is 25 to 1,000. And then this isn't a million. Why can't I just keep a pattern in my head? Why am I having such trouble with that? 999,999. And then this will be a million to 10 million is 52,000. And these are min-max bets too, which I think is pretty interesting. So you wouldn't be able to bet less than 50 in that case. So if you have more than 1 million coins, you wouldn't be allowed to bet less than 50. No more of this 1 bet, 2 bet kind of deal. Getting a phone call. Hold on, I'm going to take this real quick. I'll be right back. And that's what I thought it was. I have all these, I have like a doctor that needs to call me, and I have an electrician, and a couple of other things that I'm waiting on. And so I've been skipping calls while I'm on stream. They seem to all call between 9 and 11 a.m. because why not? And then I end up with voicemails, and then I've got to call them all back. So I thought I would check that real quick. Okay, and then we'll do 10 million. I'm interested in your opinions on this, guys. This is going to be the wager limits for everything. to 49 million, your thing will be 100 to 5,000. And then we'll do 50 million. This is a lot. I mean, it's actually going to be hard to get here. I have thought about sports betting, LJ. The problem with sports betting is now I can't rely on a random number generator. Now I really need to tie into the outcomes of games. It's not that I can't do it. And in fact, I even have an API to handle some of that stuff. It's just that it's a much bigger deal because I have these other data sources that I basically have to I have to be able to know what the outcomes of sporting events were. Corey says the low limit seems small for the higher ranges. I'm basing this off of a really popular app I have on my phone. And maybe you're right. Maybe I mean I'm not using the same ranges they're using. Let's back this up. Let's see if I really look at their ranges. If I do their ranges, we end up with, I'm gonna do this the same way. 0 to 30,000 is 1 to 50. And then $30K to $90K is 5 to 200. Maybe I should use their ranges. Then they have, no. Yeah, see that, the way they're, let's see if I can go back and see something else. The way they're doing it, their ranges, their ranges have a significant amount of overlap. Maybe not anymore. Okay, no, we'll use this. Okay, let's try this again. No, Corey, this is great. The feedback is good. No, Karthik, you're not missing anything. I put that stuff on there hoping that I could find a way to make it clickable, but it's not. But that's something that I want to work on. So eventually, I'm thinking there's a way that you can add things that can be clickable. I just haven't even investigated it yet. All I did was lay that out. But my plan is to use that space for probably a ticker of some kind and some other kind of interesting social something. I don't know. I don't know what that's going to be, but I'm hoping it'll be kind of dynamic and interesting. But I just needed something for now, and that seemed cool to put the rainbow of socials on there. Yeah, the GitHub Projects is over there, but it's on the right-hand side. I haven't figured out yet how to even do overlays. I haven't tried, so hopefully we'll get there. Let's try this again. So 0 to 20K gives me a bet of 1 to 30. And then from 20K to 40K, we have 580. So I just don't like these numbers. I wish they were rounder, but it's okay. Then they have from Karthik, we got to get you on the leaderboard, man. What's your balance? Ooh, 20 to 40, and we have 40 to 80. I actually think this is pretty useful. So if I say 40K to 80K, I'm trusting that they've tested this model. They got hundreds of thousands of users. This is 10 to 300, and then the next one is 80K to 250K is 25 to 1,000. These ranges seem better to me. I just wish the numbers were rounder, but for 100K to 1 million, the range is 50 to 4,000. We can keep going on this. From 1 million to 2.5 million is 100 to 10K. Karthik, you have 2 coins. This is why you're not on the leaderboard. Let's fix that. There you are, Karthik. You're at the bottom, but you're there. All right, so let's keep going on our ranges. 1 million to 2.5 million, and then this one is 500. No, from 2.5 million to 10 million, it is 250 to 40,000. And then we can worry about things, but we'll just say that it's not 10 million is not actually the cap. It's anything higher. And then if we find that we have a bunch of people up there, we could add more. But that's not bad. I wonder if I could clean these up a little bit. Instead of 1 to 30, what if it's 1 to 50? And 5 to 100. Instead of these odd numbers, 10 to 500. 50 to 5,000. 250 to 50,000. I mean, it doesn't really matter. We're just trying to keep people pinned into a little bit of a range. So, okay, I can live with these ranges. I've made the numbers a little rounder, which I like. And the bands are a little more interesting at the lower levels than what I was originally creating. Okay, so let's write some tests that will most certainly fail. Okay, so user balance is how can we do this? User bets $50 with balance of 100 returns true. Okay. So they bet 50. We expect valid to be true. The status should there. What is my status for that? Cashier. Valid wager. That's the test there. Okay, so that becomes this. And this will pass now. The real test is the next one. And that one is going to be they bet 51 with a balance of 100. And this should return false. And we'll call this, what do we want to call it? this will be above maximum limit. So those, let's start there and check those. So in here, well, let's. That's just wrong. Should definitely have a cashier test fail. I just added one. So it treated it as a valid wager, which is what I expect. Where did that all go? So I expected above maximum limit, but of course we haven't written any rules for that yet, so let's come in and do that. If let's see, if we got to start with user fields of what do I call that? Just balance. Okay. If user.fields.balance is I feel like we really want to break this out. There's a lot of logic here. Function check. Minimum bet. Is this a good way to do this? All right, so let's just start with this. We can just say balance and wager. So yeah, I like this. I like separating the minimum and the maximum because then I can give the users very clear messages about what's wrong. So let's write this as if check minimum bet, and in here we're gonna have user.fields.balance, and we're gonna have wager. Now check doesn't make sense. Check minimum bet. It's not really checking it though. It's just this is a Boolean function. So I want this to be called is below minimum bet. And then we'll have a return that looks like one of these. And this is going to be, what did we say that thing was going to be? Below minimum limit. So we'll do a below minimum limit and is
invalid is false. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing for, so now this needs to look like that. Then we can say, I guess we'll stack up an if statement here. I hate doing that, but if balance is less than, and this is going to be our first range, so if it's less than 20K, $50,000, Corey. Ouch. If balance is less than 20,000, then we're going to do a thing, and if it's if its balance is less than 20,000, we could probably drop this right in here, and wager is less than $50. Wager is less than 50. Less than or equal to 50. I guess we don't even really need to check this case. I mean, I'm writing it, but I don't think I actually need to check this case because, well, we'll just do it for ceremony. Wager is greater than or equal to 0. If the then I want to return true. Return true. Else, if balance is greater than 20,000 and balance is less than, what did we say, 40,000. I'm trying to write this readably. And wager is greater than 5. Wager is greater than 5, greater than or equal to 5, then we can return true. So what I'm writing is the positive conditions, and then if it doesn't meet any of those positive conditions, if balance, so what was the next range? 40 to 80. Who gets the equals on 40? 20 to 40 or 40 to 80? We'll do it this way. If balance is less than or equal to 20,000, no. Balance is less than 20,000. So this will be equals, and this will be equals. So now we have 40,000 actually covered. And then the bottom wager for 40 to 80 was 10. So this becomes 80. And next range. 80 to 250, that's a big jump. This becomes 80. this becomes 250, and this becomes 25. Okay. $100,000 to $1 million is next. No, it can't be 100. It's got to be 250. 250 to $1 million. Okay. So this becomes 250. This becomes $1 million, and the range on that is 50. Okay. Million to 2.5 million to 2.5 million, and we decided the range on that is going to be 100. And then finally 2.5 to the sky. So if the balance is greater than 2.5 million, which looks like that, we can just take this part out because it doesn't apply. We don't have a ceiling right now. We could add that later, but we don't have it now. And that is going to be 250. So if they are meeting those conditions, those are all true. Like, those are the ideal. You're meeting the minimums situations. And if you don't meet those, ooh, this looks broken. Why did I add that twice? If you don't meet those minimums, then it will return false, which will then return you a below minimum limit. I like that. Okay. So then, let's take this, and we'll say is above maximum. And those are all the same, but this is going to be above maximum this time. And we'll do the same thing, but the other way. Is above maximum bet. Okay. So this is really just changing the wager part. If their balance is less than 20,000, then their maximum wager can't be more than 20,000. Well, that makes sense anyway. No, it can't be more than 50. Sorry. So wager is greater than 50. No, I want it to be less than 50 because I'm looking at the positive conditions. If the wager is less than or equal to 50, then we're good on that one. The next one, 20,000 to 40,000, is a bet of 100. So this has to be less than or equal to 100. The next one is 500. So this needs to be less than or equal to 500. This one needs to be 1,000. Less than or equal to 1,000. Then we have 5,000 for this one. Less than or equal to 5,000. Then 10,000. And then this last one here is if their balance is greater than that, their maximum bet can be 50,000. Okay. So let's go back and well, let's run the one test that I had for now. That should work now. And if it does, then we'll go cover it up with the rest of the tests. I don't like how long that's taking. What are we doing here? User bets 10. Oh, I just broke all of my other tests. Although, no, that shouldn't have broken everything. I was thinking that this would be, I broke all my other tests because the balance of that user would be broken, but that's actually not true. My test user always lives at 100 credits. And so, why are all these tests failing now? If it is below or is above, then we say no. Oh, no. No. I did this all wrong. This is just a logic problem. I'm sending back true, and I should be sending back false. I'm getting caught up in my negatives. So this will fix this. I was basically setting everything that was a valid bet to invalid by swapping the case of these Boolean values. True. Okay. Let's try that again, because I was really surprised that was all breaking. Turn green, please. Okay. Let's take a look here. User bets 51. Oh, I just didn't. Oh, okay. Jeff. Terrible. If you say you're going to bet 51, you have to actually bet 51. You can't just fool around and pretend. Computers do exactly what you tell them to. And that's unfortunate because I don't always tell them to do the right thing. Okay, user bets. Goodness. Okay, this should be false. I can't even write a good test. False. One more time. I know I have some other broken tests. I haven't figured out mocking, and this is basically, I think, a lag issue with my database that I'm facing. So never mind the other broken tests. I validated that they're working independently. It's only when I combine them that we run into a couple issues. Well, maybe not that one. But cashier, that's the one I was looking at. That passes wonderfully. Okay, so let's write some other tests in here to cover those other conditions, because I'd like to have full coverage on those cases. I can't bet less than 0 because that'll already fail. So for testing the first limit, we're good. The next one that we need to test is the user's going to bet 4 when their balance is 20,000. So we have to first set the user's balance to 20,000. So that is user.fields.balance equals 20,000. Then we're going to pass that user through, and we're going to say they bet 4. This should be below minimum limit. It should be false. Let's fix our naming here too. Bets 4 with a balance of 20,000. Okay. That looks like a good test. Then we're going to take that and we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do the outer bound, the upper bound, which is 100. So the user is going to bet 101 with a balance of 20,000. And this is going to be above max limit, and then we should have a nice clean one. Let's start with the clean one, which looks like this. User bets. What is their range? 5 to 100. User bets 100 with a balance of 20,000. This should return true. We're going to make sure we set that balance to 20,000. Okay. All right, let's get some tests going here. Hopefully those all pass for the cashier. Cashier, come on, turn green. Come on, cashier. Why are you so slow? Oh. Okay. Okay. That's on me. User.fields.available balance also equals 20,000. We have two balances that we use. I really only care about their available balance, but that is calculated off of any. Yeah, I can just run my single file. And you're right about that. CD test. Nope. CD lambda. CD test. Wait, what? CD chat. Cino. CD test. Then we should be able to say just cashier test.js. Many years ago, Corey, you may actually get credit for that. You're right. Let's do something else too before. Let's get rid of this. But I will bring in the after all. Since I'm going to be setting these balances anyway, I think it'll be okay. What if we look at like this? No, poker play. There's an after all. I'll use this to reset everything. I wonder what this is going to do for me. Yeah, now I'm going to have to set these balances each time. So let's create ourselves a little function. Set user balance. And we'll just take a number, which will be balance. So in this case, we'll just say user.fields.balance equals balance. and user dot fields dot available balance equals balance. Okay, and then I can just take these away, and I can say set user balance 20,000 on that one, and on this one, and on this one. But for these here should be 100. And these up here also need this now, but they were already assuming that the user's balance was 100. So we'll just keep those that way. But since I need dynamic balances now, this is a good way to change those in my tests. So let's run that again. This should be faster too now that I'm not resetting it live. Doesn't seem faster, but what's going on? Why is this taking so long? Oh, because I didn't. Should have just done this. Let's try that again. Which one failed? User bets 101 with a balance of user bets 101 with a balance of 20,000. It should return false, above maximum limit. What did it return? Cannot because that's where I set it up. So let's have the user have some stuff. Fields balance 100, available balance 100, and what am I doing wrong? Let user equal, how about that? How do you like me now? And then I'm gonna have to go look at my reset function because I need the data, I need the user ID, which is in here somewhere. Record ID. Okay. This will be a far more lightweight way to do this. Okay. Look at how fast it is and how green it is. Wow, that was nice. A little refactoring. Okay, so all of our tests are passing, and they're super fast now that I'm not making useless calls to the database. We're still resetting our user at the end, which is good. So let's get into these now. They're all doing exactly what I'd want them to. This, if I bet 101 with a balance of 20,000, I would expect it to fail, or expect it to be false. So now we have this triplet of tests that we want to run for each one, which is a good one, a high one, and a low one. So our next series is 40 to 80, 10 to 500. So this needs to be, the balance needs to be 40,000. invalid wager now is 9, and it was 10 to 500, so this needs to be 501, and then this one here can be 50 again. That's fine, because that should be a valid wager. Although we could put it right on the edge. That's always nice. Set user balance to 40,000. That one will be true. This one should be false for being below. This one should be. Let's go. Let's do it. Pass them all. Nice. Okay. Next ones. And I feel like I could add some more true cases. Like I have right now, I have the bottom of whatever their range is. Balance of 40,000. I feel like I'm testing just inside the range, right? So they bet 10, which is the minimum bet here, on a balance of 40,000. But I should also fluctuate the balances, probably. But that's later. Like if all of these are passing, I'm feeling really good. But it would be good to at least test the edges of both sides, both for the wagers and for the balances, because then I know that my greater than, less thans, all those are lining up and working well. So our next balance check is 80,000. So we'll get our 3 tests on the field. Tell me about fuzz testing, Corey. What is that? What can I do with fuzz testing? And what I want to do here is 80 to 250. And we're saying 25 to 1,000. 80 to 250, 25 to 1,000. So that means my minimum bet here. Oh, I like that. Yeah, that's pretty cool, actually. And this needs to be 1,001. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. That would be super cool for all this wager stuff. For sure. Bets 1,001. Bets 24. And what was the min bet here? 25. I like that. I will have to look into that. You're right. That'll be very cool. This needs to be 501. I need to make sure I'm naming my tests. 9. And this one is 10. 101 for user bets 1. This should be 1. If we're being consistent. Okay. Go again. Ooh, Karthik, that's an interesting perspective. If I don't write any tests, I don't have any bugs, right? Is that what you're saying? User bets 1 with a balance of 20,000 returns true. Oh, you're right. I can't do that. It would have to be user bets 5. Well, that's good that failed. Okay, cool. We're making our way in the world today. Oh, it's 10 o'clock already? I wasn't going to be on here for a ton today, but we can do a couple more tests, I think. Okay, next range. Let's bring this down. Karthik, I have no idea what you're talking about. What president? Who would say something like that? I try very, very, very hard to not be political on here. Because it's real easy these days. Okay. Our next range is 250 to 1 million. So for these three tests, let's bring this down just a little bit. 250 No, it's quite all right. I just don't participate, even though I really, really, really want to, because I'm just tired. Can't even believe how bad things are. And the min bet on this is 50. Okay. User bet's 50. That one should be true. That one's good. Okay. This one should be 49. This one should fail if I set this to 49. And then this one should be 49 to 5,000. So this should be 5,001. And user bets 5,001. All right. We're getting there. User bets 5 with a balance of 20,000. Returns true. User bets 5. I think we just, did we find an issue? If we go back to is valid wager. Wait, let's look at our test. User bets 5 with a balance of 20,000. Let's make sure that it's actually doing that. Nope. We just don't have a number. 5. Let's see if it passes now. Okay. Typo in the test. Team View, be nice to Corey. His conversation's awesome. That is most certainly not spam. Okay. We're now on the million train. Let's put some commas in there. And the minimum bet for someone with $1 million is 100. So this becomes 100. User bets 100. That's all good. Okay, now user bets 99 with a balance of $1 million. And the million range goes to 10,000. Wow. 10,000. Okay, so this needs to be and this needs to be 10,000. And this needs to be 99. Okay. Boom. Tests. Fired. Passed. Nice. Okay. Then, is this the last one? Yeah. The last one is 2.5 to 10. and this is 250 to 50,000. So user bets 250 with a balance of 2.5 million. And then this is going to be 249. That is not right yet. This needs to be 2.5. This needs to be 2.5. This needs to be a maximum bet of 50,000. Okay, 50,000. And this needs to be bets 50,001 on a bet of 2.5 million. Those are all our tests. Those cover all of our cases generally until we drop some fuzz testing on this a bit later. See, TeamView, I think you're missing the point. The casino's fun, but the conversation's better. That's certainly not spam. All of our tests pass. We have just installed mostly. I haven't completely done this yet, but we have mostly installed, at least in the Chatsino side of things, minimum and maximum bets. Now, what we need to do for Alexa is actually apply that. And so when we try to make a bet, and there's going to be a lot of changes here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get all these today. But like start slots, right? So we come into this and we make our call. We have invalid wager, but now we also have these other cases that we've started playing with, because isValid wager doesn't return invalid wager anymore. It only returns what kind of invalid wager it is or valid wager. So for start slots, we're going to have to build out some cases for this, which I don't know if I'm going to be able to do today. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that today, but I'm going to add it to my to-do list because this is obviously important for the skill. But we now have a really, over the work we've done over the last 2 days, we have completely changed the kind of feedback that we can give to our users about their bets. And this will be really important once we start building chatbots on top of this also, but for Alexa especially. I can't just say to someone, I'm sorry, that's an invalid bet, try again. I have to be able to tell them that, like, oh, that's below your minimum, or that's above your maximum, or you're betting more than you currently possess in money. So, yeah, so that's we gotta make this happen right now, because it's gonna happen for all the games. So let me add this to my to-do list. Change invalid wager cases to handle, change invalid wager cases to handle all of the new options. That needs to be big and large. I also was able to fix something. I need to find this. It's in poker. We did this the other day. Poker, where are you? When a user gets 3 of a kind, whatever, tell them what they got. Like you won with a pair of 4s. This is done. We did that. But we also need to add a new one, which is we still don't tell the user what their to-pair is. It was too hard at the time. Okay, that's good. So I've got that on my list, so I don't forget that one either. All right, so change invalid wager cases to handle all of the new options. This is currently broken because it will never happen. Build functions to handle the invalid wager cases rather than doing each game manually. All right. Now we still need achievements. This is, I'm going to put a question mark on this. Levels? Well, this leveling is kind of gone. We'll call this done. I'm going to leave it on the list because I feel like we did the minimum and maximum bets, which is good, and it's based on the amount of money you have, but I feel like there's this new running tally that I may need to start paying attention to, which is total amount wagered. Right? Because you could have a balance of 1,000, but you've wagered millions. You just happen to be down right now. And I think that there's something to be said for the total amount that you've wagered in the history of ever, which I think we have. I think we have that kind of. No, not really. We have current wagers. But it wouldn't be very hard to put together a historical wagers column here so that we could see all of your historical wagers, because all of those are captured here. We can see every single payout. Well, we don't even care about payout. We care about amounts you've wagered. So we have this full running record of everything that you've done, what your outcomes were. We could even keep track of like how many times you've had a 2-pair. All of that should be cool for achievements. Although it would be nice to summarize those things without having to do the live data pull every time. Something to think about. Okay, so with that, I think I'm going to wrap up for today. Lots and lots of other things to do, including recording that presentation that I did yesterday. If you guys tuned in yesterday morning, I have to make a nice clean recording of that that's just video, and then hand it off to an editing team who will mostly cover it with slides, but every once in a while they can cut to my face or do picture-in-picture or whatever. So recordings and all sorts of other cool stuff going on. Also, on the Alexa channel, it looks like there's going to be a bunch of new Alexa and Friends episodes coming up, which is a show that I started earlier this year, probably January, February, and we bring in important people from around the world of Alexa, and I just landed on a whole pile of interesting people that would be really interested. So my hope is over the next 3 months, the rest of this year, I should have somebody almost every week. Not today, obviously. We're here right now. But going forward, I think we'll have some good opportunities to have a bunch of interesting guests to come talk about Alexa. So with that, I'm going to sign off for today. Thank you guys all for tuning in.